Call it blowback, pushback, mass yowling, collective howling. But as Rachel Maddow tells us last night, the rising tide of resistance is swelling. And Rachel's opening monologue, well, it surfs that riptide of opposition. As you're about to see, it's a great ride. We have it for you right now. Could it be that the man who so divided this country is somehow uniting Democrat and Republican voters based upon his terrible policies and the horrible implementation of those terrible policies, like Social Security office closures? Let's see what Rachel has to say about it just last night.
I don't mean for this to be an ad hominem attack on the way Mr. Musk smells. I have no idea how he smells. I just wanted to point out, though, that from places as disparate as Florida and also Mount Kisco, New York, the theme of Elon Musk being a stinker is kind of turning out to be a thing at these protests. Musk is the scent of corruption. This was Akron, Ohio this weekend. We love the USA, not oligarchy. Also, DOGE stands for D-O-G-E, deranged oligarchs get everything. This was Pasadena, California. Don't test drive fascism. This was Cathedral City, California. Dogs hate DOGE. They call Cathedral City Cat City, so you know you were going to see some annoyed dogs at this protest. This was Rockville, Maryland. America is trapped in a burning Tesla. And also this sign, sort of made to look like a highway sign. Trump and Musk look out for billionaires. Who is looking out for you? San Jose, California, your Tesla paid for fascism. In San Francisco, handmade sign, I sold my Tesla. Also, this one goes from 0 to 1939 in 3 seconds. Tesla, the swastika. In Vallejo, California, DOGE, D-O-G-E, equals Department of Greed and Evil. Here's one from Texas. The left side of your screen here, this is a sign we saw a week or so ago at an anti-Elon Musk protest in Austin, Texas. You might remember this one. Porsche, fast, Ferrari, faster, Tesla, fascist. But now look, this is on the right side of your screen, also Austin, Texas. This past weekend, different person, update to the sign. NASCAR equals fast, Formula One equals faster, Trump and Musk equal fascist. The protest at the Manhattan Tesla dealership in New York. Look at this. Particularly big and particularly dramatic, just brought this corner of New York City to a stop. People also brought tombstones and laid down in front of the dealership in a die-in against what Trump and Musk are doing to the American government and to the country. But these protests really were everywhere, not just in big cities and not just big ones. I mean, look at these protests against Musk and Trump in Chesterfield, Missouri, in Kalamazoo, Michigan, Norfolk, Virginia, Rockville, Maryland, like I mentioned before, Tigard, Oregon, West Covina, California. Even on top of the many, many, many protests against Trump's top campaign donor that we saw at Tesla dealerships this weekend, and it does seem like there were hundreds of them, there were still yet more protests against Trump and Musk, like this big one in Kansas City, Missouri on Saturday. People in Kansas City marched about a mile from downtown Kansas City to Union Station. Then they massed at the lawn of the National World War I Museum and Memorial. The same day in Salt Lake City, Utah, people stood up for the trans community at the Utah State Capitol in Salt Lake City on Saturday. On Sunday, there was a really big, look at this, really big show of strength and support for immigrants and against Trump. This was Dallas, Texas. Marchers started at the Cathedral of Our Lady of Guadalupe, and they marched to Dallas City Hall. There were angry and fired up town halls this weekend. These were town halls done by Republican Congresswoman Victoria Spartz. She held 2 town halls in her district on Friday night and then again on Saturday during the day. In both cases, she had absolutely full houses in Indiana, hundreds of people inside, and even hundreds of people who couldn't get in, who protested outside. In all cases, Victoria Spartz's constituents just gave her nothing but the hardest of hard times for her professed support for Donald Trump and Elon Musk. That said, she's definitely hearing what people are saying to her. Congresswoman Spartz told her constituents at these events this weekend that she understood they were, quote, frustrated, quote, very frustrated with Elon Musk in particular. She admitted that the Signal group text national security debacle, in her words, is, quote, actually very bad. Again, a Republican congresswoman having to admit that as her constituents would not let up on her about it. The following day, Sunday, also in Indiana, of all places, yet more upset constituents flooded an empty seat town hall, which they held for their Republican member of Congress, Jim Baird. Unlike Victoria Spartz, Jim Baird will not actually agree to meet with his constituents, who are equally mad at him. So his constituents held an overstuffed town hall in Lafayette, Indiana this weekend without Congressman Baird in attendance. So Americans are doing stuff. And in large numbers and in disparate places. And the pushback that you see, not just in blue states, but in red states, and not just in blue districts, but in red districts, all of these protests you are seeing, the town halls you are seeing, all the yowling that the American people are doing against Trump and Musk and what they're doing, you never know exactly what effect that's going to have. And where, right? You can see this pushback creating pressure against them, right? Creating self-consciousness among the Republicans who have to try to defend what they're doing and who see how their constituents feel about it. But you never know exactly where it's going to pay off. That said, the calendar says it's spring. And if you are looking for green shoots, they really are everywhere. Consider this inadvertently hilarious press release from the Trump administration. This was flagged by journalist Judd Legum at Popular Information, who has been all over what the Trump administration has been doing to Social Security in particular. You know how we here have been covering for a few weeks now how Trump has published a list of dozens of Social Security field offices that he was going to close all around the country. Once that list was published, as you might expect, people just revolted over his plans to do that. Well, now look at this. Now the Trump administration says they are, quote, correcting the record about Social Security office closings, insisting that you might have received some inaccurate information about those Social Security office closures. They're insisting now that they never had plans to close those offices at all. Yeah, you crazy Americans, you crazy old people, right? Where did you hear that we were going to be closing Social Security offices? We definitely never published this very detailed list of dozens of Social Security offices that we were going to close. And then, when the blowback and the pushback against us doing that knocked us on our butts, we definitely just didn't decide to pretend that it wasn't us and that we'd never said that. Their efforts to dismantle the Social Security agency are as dangerous as anything else they are doing in this country, especially because the people who will be most negatively affected by their dismantling and undermining of the Social Security agency are the people who most need the support that they get from Social Security and who have the fewest resources to try to make up for it if these guys screw it up. It's profoundly dangerous what they are doing. And that's why you're seeing not only old people and disabled people who get Social Security revolting, you're seeing every American with a drop of empathy in their soul revolting over that. Because to do something that irresponsible and cruel to a population to whom we owe so much, and that is, by definition, in need of what that agency provides them, and potentially frail or unable to advocate for themselves when they are hurt by what this administration is doing, yeah, there's going to be pushback with you guys messing with Social Security. Now that there has been pushback that they can't handle, they're just pretending that they weren't attacking Social Security at all. Nice try. The Signal group texting about war plans, that scandal is also continuing to blow up, even though they keep trying to pretend either it didn't happen or it's over now. The Wall Street Journal reporting this weekend that this apparently was not the first time that Trump National Security Advisor Michael Waltz had convened a group of Trump cabinet officials in a group chat on this commercial texting app. Quoting from the Wall Street Journal this weekend, quote, 2 U.S. officials also said that Waltz had created and hosted multiple other sensitive national security conversations on Signal with cabinet members, including separate threads on brokering peace between Russia and Ukraine, as well as other military operations. Sources, quote, declined to address if any classified information was posted in those chats. So, yeah, this thing isn't going away. Wait till we find out what all the other ones were.